The ongoing online feud between former DOGE head Elon Musk and U.S. President Donald Trump is drawing a lot of attention. What started with Musk's jab at Trump's big, beautiful bill eventually evolved into Musk and Trump trading blows over behaviors, policies, government contracts, and more. Could anyone have seen this coming? And what broader impacts could this feud have on Capitol Hill and beyond? Here to discuss this with me is Ken Blackwell. He was part of the Trump administration's transition team on the domestic policy group in 2016 and in 2024. He's also a senior fellow for human rights and constitutional governance here at Family Research Council. Ken, thanks for joining me today.
Joseph, it's good to be with you.
Well, we are going to talk about this Musk-Trump story, but before we do, we have some breaking news that I want to get you to react to just in the last hour involving Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Everyone knows he is kind of progressive's favorite illegal immigrant. He has been returned to the United States, but it may not be exactly what advocates for Abrego Garcia had hoped for. Here's part of what Attorney General Pam Bondi had to say just about an hour ago. Let's play clip 9.
Abrego Garcia has landed in the United States to face justice. On May 21st, a grand jury in the Middle District of Tennessee returned a sealed indictment charging Abrego Garcia with alien smuggling and conspiracy to commit alien smuggling.
And then she also said this. Let's play clip 8.
The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrego Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring. They found this was his full-time job, not a contractor. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women.
Ken Blackwell, your reaction to all of this?
I'm so delighted, Joseph, that Garcia is coming to stand in the dock before the American people. He's a bad guy, and I think the American people need to feel the full embrace of justice being brought to him for the horrible crimes that he has committed.
Now, it is an incredible kind of turning of the tables, it seems, because he's been presented to the public as a victim of injustice. And now, based on these charges, he has been a perpetrator of injustice for a very long time. We will see which narrative ends up prevailing. We will certainly keep you informed of the developments as they happen. But Ken, I want to turn to the story we intended to cover in this block. And everyone is kind of aware of the online feud, and it's mostly online right now, it seems, between President Trump and Elon Musk. How do you think we should be thinking about this?
Well, I think the two principals here need to understand and need perhaps to adopt that strategy of détente, because they have a mutual capability of destroying the forward movement of this country in terms of our national security, in terms of dealing with the enormous debt that we have, and dealing with the challenge of getting us back on the path of growth and opportunity. And so this back and forth between the President of the United States and a very smart, very affluent, now adversary, but just a few weeks ago, an ally, has to be brought to an end. President is the President of the United States. He is the head of our constitutional republic, and he has an enormous challenge. He has to keep the herd moving west, and in order to do that, he has to work through not only with the House and the Senate. He needs to do it within the framework of our Constitution. That's a little bit more difficult than the deep dive that Elon has done along with his team, and come up with a prescription for a comprehensive fix that just might not be doable this time around. But I think the big, beautiful bill, while again, lacking in some aspects, it's probably the best that we can do to make sure that we keep that trifecta that's necessary to keep us on the path of progress.
Now, you kind of described well the policy debate that's happening on the surface. Is the big, beautiful bill good? Is the big, beautiful bill an abomination, as Elon Musk has referred to it? Do you think this conflict really is ultimately policy-based, or is this personal on on levels that we perhaps haven't seen yet?
Well, it's gone sideways, and it's destructive, and it's personal, and we need folks to go to their mutual corners. But, I'm not confused, and the American people are not confused. Donald Trump stood for the presidency. He got a clear majority of the voters to say he was the one that they wanted to lead the nation. He now has to work within the framework of the Constitution, and that means that he has to be able to work with a House that has a slim majority and a Senate that has not always behaved and voted as a coherent force.
Yeah. Well, there is a lot of curiosity about the impact that this will have or will not have on the big, beautiful bill. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson was asked this question. Here's what he had to say. Play clip 5.
This is not a problem for getting the bill done. The House and Senate Republicans here know that we have a job to do, and we're going to do our job. And we produced a very, very good product. It is not perfect because there's no such thing as perfect legislation, but we're really proud of this. And
Ken, do you think that is an accurate description of the impact that this feud will not have, according to the Speaker, on the bill?
Well, I think there's an ounce of hope in that. He understands that this headbutting by these two powerful personalities can keep us off of what I consider to be a positive track forward and make the Speaker and the Senate leaders' jobs much more difficult. But again, I have confidence that in the final analysis, the two principles that we're discussing here will come to a détente and make sure that this bill, while not perfect, gets passed. Sometimes you make the good the enemy of the best, or vice versa, and we just can't make that happen this time around. We need to put the tourniquet on, and while it doesn't completely stop the spending bleeding, it puts us on a track, I think, where we can complete the job over the next 3.5 years.
Do you agree with the analysis that we've heard from many that this is the best we can realistically do under the current political circumstances?
Well, I have a lot of faith in the Speaker. I would imagine that something's going to be sent back to the House that is slightly different from what they sent over to the Senate. But I have full confidence that working with the president's team in the White House, he and Leader Thune can get this done. Again, the worst narrative would be that this thing collapses and we all have eggs on our face, and that just wouldn't be good for us. But more importantly, it wouldn't be good for the American people.
Now, there seems to be a consensus that we're spending too much money. Nobody says, oh, we're not spending enough, right? Regardless of where you are in this bill, everybody seems to agree we should be spending less. The disagreement seems to be about when we can or if we can, and what the political implications of that are. Is it possible, and the analogy that comes to mind is like, if we as parents had our children vote for whether we could be parents, we would be much more deferential to our children. Are we dealing with a situation where politicians are afraid to tell the truth and look out for the long-term best interest of the American people because the American people don't really want that? We want what we want, and we want it now?
Well, look, let me tell you, one of the blessings of the United States of America is that our form of government is decentralized, and it brings decision-making back to the most basic level, ultimately to the national government, but starting out with the family as the basic unit of governance, working through cities, states, counties, etc. In the final analysis, a downside of our system is that it is decentralized and it makes for conflicting interests. But again, I think we know what the penalty would be if we fail, and I believe in the final analysis, we're going to get this done.
Well, we hope and pray that you are correct. Ken, thank you so much for taking some time with us today.
Good to be with you, Joseph. God bless.